1963. The then President of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, came down this very street in a cavalcade on his way to Eyre Square. He was going there to receive the highest honour that the city of Galway could bestow upon him. They were going to make him a free man of Galway, which was going to change Jack's life forever. Because now, finally, he could raise his sheep for free. When he was here, he gave a speech from here. On a clear day, you can almost see Boston. That's a slight exaggeration, but he was alluding to the connections between this part of the world and that. So many Irish over there. As a result of that visit, this park is now called JFK Memorial Park, and up on the eastern side of the park is a monument commemorating the visit of John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Kennedy's story is so inspirational to people of Irish ancestry all over the world. And related to his story, his great-grandfather Patrick Kennedy, in Ireland, still a boy, not an adult yet, without a penny in his pocket, and leaving at the height of one of the most difficult times here for people in 1848 during the Great Hunger. To see his descendant rise to the most powerful position in the world, I cannot underestimate what it did for Irish people's sense of identity. Folks, these are the docks of Galway, commercial docks. Oh, a maritime city always and ever. And much of this land over on the left-hand side of us here has been reclaimed from the sea over the centuries. Undergoing a new development stage, as you can see. These docks have to be locked in order to keep the water on the boats. There is a 5-metre tide flow here in Galway approximately. Quite significant. As you come down this road, this is the former home of a man called Paul. Born in 1982, he is said to be the revival. There were more than 700 competitions in the Irish language. And even around this, people said it was impossible not to love. He was also known as Leo Tolstoy said it's the only man in the world who could understand Leo Tolstoy. On the right-hand side, now the business of just here on the right now. And you can see a statue of him in the centre of JFK Memorial Park, and another one in the Museum of Galway, which is just around the corner here. There is the Museum of Galway. That's a free museum. Nice place to escape the rain if it rains again. And there you can see that statue of Pádraig Ó Connra. And a full-size Galway suspended from the ceiling. A traditional fishing vessel here in the west. Look left here as we pass by the museum, folks, you see the Spanish Arch. Approximately 20 feet tall. The original walls dating back to the 1270s. Those arches put there in 1584. You can find the Hall of the Red Earl, which is the oldest surviving settlement here in Galway, built in the 1300s, rediscovered just 20 years ago. Keep looking right and you'll see Blake's Castle now, one of the merchant homes here in Galway, dating back to approximately 400 years ago. Spent time as the city jail here for a couple of hundred years, since the late 1800s, and has been a commercial property. Now, Costa Coffee. Side here is the West End. Lots of nice bars and restaurants there, popular with locals. And some of the choice ones, Munros and Carrolls. Oh, we've just turned onto the Claddagh, which is Ireland's oldest fishing community, dating back to the 5th century. Fishermen and their families always and ever living here. The women of the Claddagh selling the catch of the men over at the Spanish Arch area over on our left to the people of the settlement. Men of the Claddagh going out into Galway Bay and the Atlantic water. Also the Galway hookers. They get out there by their king that they elected here right up until the 1970s. They have their own culture and customs here as well. Over to the left of us here is the Long Walk. A famous song by Steve Earle when he sang about his Galway girl. That song later covered by Irish artists Mundy and Sharon Shannon, and more recently, in my opinion, being butchered by Ed Sheeran. He came out of that blue building over there with his Galway girl, Saoirse Ronan, who's from Carlow. So he couldn't even get that right. Come on, Ed. Up to the left-hand side there, we've got Nemo's Pier, built by the Scottish engineer Alexander Nemo, almost 200 years ago. He built many of the roads, rails, and pier networks here in the west. So the Claddagh here, folks, is most famously associated with the Claddagh ring. Some lovely symbolism on that ring, which can be seen all over Galway. You have two hands that symbolize friendship, a crown which symbolizes loyalty, and a heart which of course symbolizes love. There are two ways to wear a Claddagh ring, which is traditionally handed down from generation to generation. If you wear it with the heart facing in and the crown facing out, it means that your heart is taken and the crown is there to protect your loyalty. If you flip it around, it means you're fair game, or available. Up into the Claddagh Ring Visitor Centre to hear the story of Richard Joyce and the creation of the Claddagh Ring. And it's a very nice story indeed. In the 1930s here there was a tuberculosis outbreak, and so the government made the decision to demolish all of the thatched cottages, as they felt these were to blame for the spread of the disease. Then they built these council houses for people to return later in the decade. One of those cottages remains in the centre of the Claddagh. That's Katie's cottage, where you can see what life was like here 100 years ago. Now over on the left hand side here we've got Galway Bay. That's 15 or 20 minutes. And there Galway Bay, there's more than 700 acres of moisture. These oysters are harvested in September. Claddagh here, the Claddagh Bridge on the south of the bay host oyster festivals. Now up ahead on the left hand side is Muddin Island Lighthouse. And for many people leaving Ireland via Galway Port, that light from that lighthouse would have been the last light that many of them would have seen of their homeland. Most never to return. There have been many ways of immigration. No time more to join the Great Tundra of 1845 to 1850. People leave this island in their droves. During these years, the population is estimated to have halved, going from approximately 8.5 million down to just over 4. An estimated 4 million people dying due to starvation and disease here on the island. And approximately the same amount again leaving on what are now known as coffin ships. All this because of the number of people who died en route. That's what you would like so much. The reason we have a great potato here, or great more, in Ireland is because of the failure of the potato. Light down there affected it throughout Europe. And in Britain. But it had a devastating effect here because it was so important to the people. Up ahead on the left hand side is a memorial park dedicated to the memory of those who died at Lough. Two coffin ships. On closer inspection, those stones, like ships from the front to the rear, and about 100 boats that carry them from the side. Hopefully, the potato was once thought to be brought here by water rally, English explorer and friend of Queen Elizabeth, but nowadays it's thought to have taken a different route to our shores. In June of 1588, set sail from Cadiz in Spain. Intent on invading England as part of their war with that country at the time, they never landed on English shores, thanks to a sturdy defence by Francis Drake and others in the English Channel. The fleet was forced up along the eastern side of Britain into the North Sea, and then as it came across the north of Scotland, Ireland, and down on the western shores, they had to contend with severe storms. These storms took a heavy toll on the fleet, so that by the time they made it back to Spain, 6 months after they had left, half of these ships had been lost at sea. At the bottom of the ocean off our shores alone, we found the wrecks of at least 29 of these boats. And within their hulls, the Spanish had vast stores of the potato crop, which they had discovered over in the South American continent in the previous 100 years. Nowadays, it's thought that when these washed up on shore, they were picked up by the people here, stuck into the rocky soil that we have in the west of Ireland, where they were found to grow surprisingly very well. Similar conditions to the Peruvian Andes, where they have been discovered by the Spanish. Is the National Aquarium of Ireland, GAWL-way Aquarium. If you pop in there, you can see 150 different species of fish and crustaceans native to our shores, and some from distant shores as well. Very nice attraction, and we will be stopping just around the corner. If anybody wants to hop off here, stop number 4, Salt Hill. Looking across the bay there, you can make out that rocky landscape, and that is the Burren region. And the Burren is 100 square kilometres of rocky lunar type landscape, formed over 300 million years ago when Ireland was at the bottom of a tropical sea, somewhere in the southern hemisphere, part of the supercontinent of Pangaea. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and Ireland's most biodiverse region, with over 70% of our species to be found out there, including more than 70 types of orchid, growing alongside plants from the Arctic, the Mediterranean, and the Alps. If you travel through the Burren region, you can reach Ireland's #1 destination, the Cliffs of Moher. And you can also visit the ๊ɡɔːlweɪ cave, Doolin's cave, with the largest stalactite in the northern hemisphere, weighing 8 tons. Up ahead on the right hand side, you got the Sea Point Leisure Centre. When I first opened back in 1949,